What's up, guys? Teddy Striker here, and in this video, I want to give you guys my final thoughts and final breakdown for the co-main event of UFC 302, Sean Strickland versus Paulo the Eraser Costa. And if you guys haven't seen my How Paulo Costa Beat Sean Strickland video, make sure you guys go check it out. But I do think that Paulo Costa is going to be the underdog, which is why I made that video. And I do feel like Sean Strickland is going to beat Paulo Costa. I think that Sean Strickland is going to win this one by decision. I think it's going to be 48-47 in favor of Sean Strickland by unanimous decision. And, I don't really see Sean Strickland finishing Paulo Costa. We've seen Paulo Costa, he did get finished by Israel Adesanya, but, Israel, he was just on a different level that night. He kicked Paulo Costa in the head. Costa was, pretty hurt from that. And then Israel just clipped him with, a perfect hook right on the temple, and Paulo just couldn't take that. And a lot of middleweights, if they get hit like that on the temple, I don't think they're taking that shot. But he was so conscious, he didn't go out cold. He was kind of defending himself, but it wasn't in a bad position for him. And we've seen him get hit quite a bit. He did get dropped by a jab by Uriah Hall one time, because it was just a really well placed jab. And we did see Yoel Romero drop him as well. I think that was because Costa was kind of caught off balance. But overall, he's shown a very solid chin. He was getting hit quite a bit by Robert Whittaker, by Marvin Vettori as well. And Sean Strickland isn't really the biggest puncher in the middleweight division. I can see him hurting Paulo Costa with a bunch of punches, but I don't think he's going to get the finish in this one. But I do think that Sean Strickland is going to need to, push on the gas early in this fight against Rickes. I did think that he lost. I thought he lost pretty convincingly, 3-2. But I felt like he kind of lost to inactivity. He had great success with his jab. But, when you use your jab and you land your jab quite a bit, you got to use it to set up some punches, set up some left hooks, set up some crosses, set up your power shots, basically. But I feel like Sean Strickland lacked from that aspect in their fight. And he could have won, but, I feel like he just lacked that activity, and he didn't really open up with his power shots. But with Paulo, I think he's going to need to do this, because Paulo Costa is going to be in the fight. He's going to be throwing big shots, and you need to keep him off of you. So, being the smaller guy, not as powerful as Costa, you're going to need to throw quite a bit of shots, set up those shots of that jab, because that jab's going to be landing on Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa struggled with a jab with Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall even dropped him at one point with a jab. Robert Whittaker was having quite a bit of success with it too. Costa, he was mainly trying to parry the jab and then counter with the left hook. And I feel like if Sean Strickland throws a jab cross or a 1-1-2, two jabs and then followed by a cross, I feel like that's going to be open for him all day. And Costa's chin is going to be up there as he tries to throw a counter hook. You could potentially floor him the same way he hit Israel Adesanya and dropped him. Israel likes to go with that counter check hook whenever you go with a jab. Same with Paulo Costa. He likes that check hook counter. So that 1-2 that he hit Adesanya with should be open for him as well. And yeah, I feel like Sean Strickland is going to be able to bust up Paulo Costa's nose, make him have to breathe out his mouth, which is going to slow Paulo Costa down a bit. And yeah, and those kicks, Strickland's going to have to be worried about those kicks for sure, because Paulo Costa is very unpredictable, and Sean Strickland likes to parry a lot. But with the kicks, you need to have your hands a bit closer to your head to really take that impact away. Otherwise, you can potentially break your arm if you just try to parry a kick, because the shin is very, very hard. And especially a guy like Paulo Costa throwing it, it's very, very dangerous. But yeah, Sean Strickland's going to have to be very aware of those kicks. And the way he can take away Paulo Costa's kicks is by pushing him backwards, making him work on the back foot, or staying at a close range, at a sort of boxing range where Paulo Costa can't really get those kicks up to do too much damage to him. But yeah, it's going to be tough for Strickland, because he's going to have to be in the fire. But he's going to have to trust his boxing skills in the pocket and his reactions. And also, honestly, Strickland, he should honestly go for some takedowns in this fight. Costa, obviously, he hasn't grappled offensively too much in his fights. we did see a bit of grappling from him in the Luke Rockhold fight, but one thing that was a bit worrying for Paulo Costa is the fact that he got taken out by Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori, he's not really the best fighter at getting you to the ground. We've seen like his attempts at taking down guys like Jared Cannonier down. We've seen him try to take Robert Whittaker down, Israel Adesanya, and he didn't really have too much success against them. But with Costa, he was able to take him down. And we did see Luke Rockhold control Paulo Costa on the ground. So I feel like that could be a way for Strickland to, slow down Paulo Costa and do some damage on the ground as well. And, Paulo Costa, he could potentially take down Sean Strickland. We did see Dricus have a lot of success with the grappling and the takedowns. But I feel like Sean Strickland has been working on his grappling ever since Dricus Duplessis fight. That's kind of like, that's part of the reason why he lost the fight, because he was inactive, and also because Dricus was getting takedowns. And when they were getting back into the clinch, Dricus was able to break off and land some elbows that were cutting up Sean Strickland. And you see that damage, and it's not good. And Sean Strickland talked about how that blood getting into his eye from the cut of Dricus Duplessis affected his vision, and it had an impact on why he couldn't really defend as effectively, and he was getting hit a lot more, and he was a bit more cautious, and that's why he didn't really throw as much. But that's where you got to be careful. But trying to wrestle Sean Strickland might not be the best option for Paulo Costa, because it's not a part of his game. He might get fatigued a lot more with that, and Strickland does have some pretty solid takedowns, whereas Dricus Duplessis, he's a powerhouse. He's very, very strong, and he's got good grappling technique as well. Whereas Paulo, we haven't really seen that too much from him, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to go for that in this fight. But yeah, I just don't see Paulo Costa having too many great answers for Sean Strickland's jab. And I feel like after the second round, it's not going to go too well for Paulo Costa. I could be wrong. I did think that he was going to get knocked out by Robert Whittaker, but he had arguably the best performance he had in like 4 years in that fight. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting fight, and I hope Costa brings it. And I know Sean Strickland's going to bring it. And yeah, that's why I'm going to pick him to win. I'm going to pick him, by decision, unanimous. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow to see my prediction for the main event of UFC 302, Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev. And let me know your predictions for this fight, Paulo Costa versus Sean Strickland. And make sure to check out my video on how Paulo Costa beats Sean Strickland. But with all that being said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys in the next one tomorrow. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and God bless.